Hi, my name is Kirk Brown, and I currently am the Director of STEM Education for San Joaquin County Office of Education. And in 2006, I won the Carlston Award while I taught at Tracy High School. I taught biology and biotechnology, international baccalaureate biology, and over my career I taught a number of subjects, anything from physical science to introductory biology to international baccalaureate 2-year course in biology. My final probably 10 years of my career, I taught the hour before school a biotech class that had 3 levels of students in that same period. There was 80 students that rotated either 5 days a week, 3 days a week, or 2 days a week. What I learned in my time over that 25 years was that given the opportunities, students can do anything. And one of the most inspiring parts of my reflection back on my time in the classroom really is the stories about individual students. Kids that you could tell from the very first day of class had thought, I'm misplaced. I don't belong here. I can't do this. This is not who I am. I'm not part of this group of folks. And you could sense it from the first day. So I learned that a number of strategies that I come to rely upon to be the weather vane of how successful my teaching was. And that is, how quickly could I target the students that felt like they didn't belong and make them be part of this team of people working hard to learn difficult things. So if that was how to insert a gene into another loop of DNA and put it into a bacteria and produce a protein, which is usually only done in college level things, classrooms, or was it, can I learn how to read and to really glean difficult material and master it? Can I learn how to ask a teacher for help when I'm struggling? Can I, whatever the real need of the student, I think that was my mark of success, right? When kids could come to me and have an ongoing dialogue. So there was 3 things that I really always did, was get them going quick. So first day of class, we'd determine how much caffeine was in coffee by thin layer chromatography, a technique that they probably had never seen in their life and then understood how it worked. But by them using industry standard techniques and equipment and supplies, and they can do that from the very first day, and they could do the math associated with that, it generated this pride in them. And I knew that they would go home and tell their parents, oh my gosh, today, do you know that we figured out that regular coffee has more caffeine than a mocha? They were like shocked by that. But that hooked them. It's kind of like that engaging strategy. But if you do that from day one, and then you start looking back and saying, okay, I got them doing cool things, right? That's one thing. The second thing is giving them some sort of skill to be proud of. The fact that when I read their writings and their lab reports and I wrote reflections to them about specific things that they did and said, they knew that I was really reading the work that they were providing, that I wasn't just glossing over it. And then when I gave them meaningful feedback of something that I knew that they probably would have pride in doing, either a great diagram that they drew or a graph that they produced that was very insightful, I would write little notes to them about how much that I knew that was something that was a good achievement that they had done. But it was a meaningful little attaboy, attagirl thing. They responded to that. They would come up and tell me, hey, thanks for that, Mr. Brown. Man, no problem, good job. And then I wouldn't dwell on it and move on. Because I think if you overpraise kids, they know that you're overpraising them, that you're blowing smoke somewhere where it shouldn't be, and so they would, respond. And then the third strategy is really getting to know them. That's a much longer strategy. That's when you start right away. Every child has a different threshold for how much attention they can handle. And so you learn that, over time, everyone wants your attention as the teacher, right? And you do that individually. You walk around, you have a little chit-chat talk with them about what sports they play or whatever that is. But you start to, make connection with them at some level, knowing that you want them to understand, you want them to achieve. and you'll do anything that you can to help them do that. So if you start to see a student falter, you have to engage quickly. You don't let that go. You have to say, hey, I see there's something, your grades are starting to slip a little bit. Is there something I can help you with? Can we talk about that? Do you need more time? You know, rules are rules. That's so that everyone doesn't slack off. But rules are not hard, fast, right? If you're having a personal crisis at home or whatever it is, we can work through that. Once you do that, and you start to, that you're a human, and you are teaching higher level science to them, which they feel already daunted by, and the workload is a lot and not busy work. But when they start to show that they can achieve, you're acknowledging their achievements in baby steps. I think that's the secret to all good teaching, is having a student, a young person, believe in themselves, acknowledging their skills, either if they're good communicators, and telling me, hey, you'd make a great teacher. You should think about this. It's a good thing. I think it's one of those things that a little bit goes a long way. And so if I look back on my time in the classroom, the time that I spent really doing the work with kids to make them believe in themselves, you know, I have a litany of stories to tell you, one after another, after another, after another, about students that didn't believe in themselves, that now do, and they have pinnacle degrees in those subjects. They're medical school professors at major universities, they're doctors, lawyers, they're parents that educate their children and use that content, right? I mean, if you teach that long in one place like I did, you see the impact of that. And in my job now, as a director of STEM education for an entire county, I try to share that as much as I can in my work with teachers, so that they understand what it takes to be a good teacher, and that is to engage with your students. It's not the lesson that makes the education. It's the interaction between the student and the teacher that makes the education. No matter what you can get, no matter what you download from wherever you're going to get it, it's you working with the children themselves and helping them achieve. And that sounds so simple, but it's the subtle, small things you do that make a change in someone's life. And really, it's engaging in education. You know, motivation always seems to be so highly touted as the most important thing you do for kids, and it really is. But it's not always easy. And when you start treating every child as the same, what you soon will, if you haven't learned it already in your time in education, you will learn that lesson, is that a child that looks so normal could have the most horrific life you can imagine at home. Yet they're coming to your class, and the little attaboy, the little pat on the back you give them, the little hello, you look nice today, can I help you, you're struggling today, can I help you with something, may be the only time that happens in their day. So the humanity of teaching, it plays intimately into your ability to get a student to work hard for you. And sometimes it's unimaginable how hard they will work for you overnight, and you don't even know that they're doing it. After their family goes to bed, after they've had that. I mean, I've had stories where children sleep in the bathroom in their homes, right? And that's where they sleep. And so you think there is no other place to do homework. They sit in the bathroom with the light on doing their homework at night, you know? And so just when you think that everyone has the same environment that maybe you grew up in or whatever, that's not true. So those strategies of, you know, giving kids cool things to do as much as you can afford, as much as you can imagine, build partnerships with people to do that so they know they're doing real quality activities that are skill building in themselves, so that I can use that to make, when I go to university, someone will want me to work in their lab or whatever. That really is powerful, to give them that ability to believe in themselves. I think, you know, having them, giving them some praise when they earn it is important. You know, and then, you know, ultimately it's getting to know them as humans, and to help craft them and start that mentoring role early, so you can start them believing in themselves. Those three things, I think, go a long way into, you know, you're giving a slow rise to a student, and that slow rise has to be slow, and it has to be meaningful, and they have to believe. And once you do get them believing, you have them, and you're working on the next one, and the next one, and the next one, for the next 25 years.